Okay, so today we'll discuss the servlet. So today we'll discuss the servlet. So what does it mean by the servlet and why we are using it? Okay, so simple, servlet is just simple Java program. See, servlet is just simple a Java program that resides on a server. Okay, and why we are using it? For responding dynamically. Like this is your website, consider, and every time whenever you are sending the request by using the browser, consider this one is our browser. Okay, this one is our client, and where client our stored inside our browser, is it no? So when we are sending the request to a server, so where our server resides inside the our servlet resides inside the server, is it? Yeah, and by using this servlet we can give the dynamic response to a website. But the thing is, if server wasn't there, before that we have a CGI, common gateway initiative. That time what it was happening, it has returning only the static data, static content. That means whenever you are sending a request, multiple times you get the same response. Okay, the same, like if it is the home page, every time you will get the home page only. Okay, the things and images and the videos, it's not changed. So this is not a good. So for that we are using the concept of servlet. Okay, and keep in mind it has reside inside the server. And another thing, it's just simple a Java program. It is not a hardware or something, it's just simple a Java program. You can say it's a software. Okay, so how we can create it and how you can use it. But before that we'll see how our servlet works. Okay, so here you see our servlet, we can create the server inside our OHGI. Here we have a OHGI framework, and by using this OHGI framework we can create our servlet. Otherwise, OHGI framework is responsible for creating the object for your servlet. Okay, so now I'll show you. Consider one program you have written one servlet program. Okay, this is the servlet X, servlet Y and servlet Z. So these are our programs. Okay, and this program we have deployed. So when we deploy, so this package will go inside our OHGI framework. Is it no? Whenever we deploy, so what it will happen? So when we deploy, so in our AEM instance, package will go. Okay, so it will store the packages inside the package manager. Okay, so this is the packages. So these packages, some packages like core package is there. Okay, we never see the core package, so where it will store? So this package will store inside the OHGI framework. Okay, and we never create the object of this servlet. You will never see we can create the object of the servlet in our Java. Okay, or we haven't created. Why? Because of this OHGI framework is responsible for creating the servlet object. Okay, this OHGI framework is responsible for creating the servlet object, and it will execute by this Sling framework. Okay, it is responsible for storing, creating, yeah, and actual this Sling is just simple a framework, and this Sling is responsible for executing your servlet. But our actual servlet execute inside this servlet container. Say this one our servlet X, servlet Y, and this one is our servlet Z. So all this servlet where it is executing inside this servlet container. That means we can say all our life cycle of the servlet is managing by this servlet container. Exactly, no? So how we can create the servlet? So we have a lot of ways by using that we can create it. So I'll just explain one by one. Okay, so in our AEM we have only two ways, that is Sling all method servlet. Here Sling all method servlet. Okay, and the second thing, here we have a Sling save method servlet. Okay, so these are two classes. By using that we can create the servlet. So this one, consider this one is my normal class, public class A, and now I just want to convert this class into an AEM, into an servlet. So how I can convert it in AEM? So you can just simply extend anyone. You can extend this Sling all method servlet, otherwise Sling save method servlet. Okay, so this is the thing. Now I'm just explaining. Okay, here you see. Here consider this one is our normal class, public class, and this one is our A. And if I want to convert, here we can write the logic of the servlet, but this one is our simple normal class, and this class now I just want to convert into an servlet. So for that we have to extend. AEM has created two out of the box classes. We just simply have to use it. First, that is Sling all methods servlet, and second, Sling save method servlet. Okay, so why they have introduced these classes? Okay, so now I'm just explain one by one. So before that, in our Java we have a servlet interface. Okay, so it has some of the drawbacks, like here we have a 5 methods inside this servlet. We have a 5 methods. So whenever we are creating a class and implementing this servlet, so that time we have to override these 5 methods, and inside these 5 methods we have to write the logic of our servlet. So this is not a good. Every time whenever we are implementing this servlet, every time we have to override this 5 method, and inside that we have to write something. Okay, so that's why it has a lot of drawback. That's why they have introduced the concept of generic servlet. Here we have a concept of generic servlet. So this is our class and this one is our interface. So here we have only one method, that is service. Okay, so we don't need to be implement or override this all 5 methods. Here we have only one method, that is service. Okay, so then why they have introduced the concept of HTTP servlet, and after that this? Because of here we don't have the methods. Here we have only service method. But consider now somebody is sending a request. This client is sending a request in the form of do get, otherwise in the form of do post. Request is sending in the form of post form. Okay, but here we have a only service method. So if they are saying I just want the request in the form of do get, but still we are returning in service. If they want the request in form of post, still we are returning in the form of service only. That means they don't have these methods. But if you need this method, then we have a HTTP servlet. Yeah, this one is our HTTP servlet. So what it will does? So inside this HTTP servlet, here we have a lot of methods. Like if you want to fetch, if you want the output in the form of do get, then they have a do get method. Here we have a do post. Okay, do trace is there. Okay, do head is there. Whatever you want, whatever the request you are sending, these types of output you will get. Okay, but here we also have a drawback. Which drawbacks we have? Like consider this one is my servlet. Okay, in our servlet I just want to perform some operation like read and write operation. I just want to perform it, but there in our HTTP servlet, here we don't have any boundaries. Like anyone can come, they can read and write it. So for that we need some restrictions. So how we can do that thing? So for that we can simply use Sling all method servlet. Sling all method servlet. So inside this you can read and write it. You can perform the read operation. Okay, otherwise you can perform the write operation. Okay, so you can do whatever you want when you implement the Sling all method servlet. Okay, but read is nothing but the do get method, and write is nothing but the do post method. We can write it. Okay, but when you want to read only, for that we have to use Sling save method servlet. So when you are using Sling all method servlet, you can read and write it. Read, that means the do get method, and write, that means the do post method. But when you are using Sling save method servlet, then we can only read, we cannot write. Okay, so this is only for the read purpose. Okay, yeah. So we'll see now how we can create it and how we can execute this servlet. Okay, so for that you just have to come here. Here I have a demo. Okay, so this one is our demo core. Here we have a source main, and here we have a servlets package. Just come inside this. New, and just create any servlet. So right now I'm creating servlet example, yeah, and just simply hit enter. Okay, so this is the servlet we have created. Now this is not a servlet, this is just simple class. Okay, so now I just want to convert into an servlet. So how I can do that things? By extending the class. So now what I just want to read it. So for that we have to use the Sling save method servlet. Sling save methods servlet. You can import. Okay, so once you have imported, for taking the request and generating a response and return back to the client, for that we need one method, that is doGet. We already knows that. So when I'm extending this Sling save method servlet, we can only read it. So for that we have to define the doGet method. So public void, you can just simply use the doGet. Okay, but when we are talking about the servlet, this servlet is not responsible for taking the request and generating the response. It has two interfaces, that is Sling HTTP servlet request. Okay, and the second one we have a Sling HTTP servlet response. Okay, so here we have a two interfaces. So this Sling HTTP servlet request is responsible for taking the request from the client, and at the last we have a Sling HTTP servlet response. So this Sling HTTP servlet response is responsible for generating a response and return back to the client. So whenever you want to perform some response, okay, you want to print something on a response page, for that then we have to use the Sling HTTP servlet response. Okay, now I'm showing. So this doGet method accepts two parameters. First one, Sling HTTP servlet request, and we have to create the object, otherwise how we can use this interface directly. Okay, and later the Sling HTTP servlet response. Here we have a response. Okay, so I have created, we have to import it, so that's why I'm just typing Ctrl+Shift+O. Yeah, I imported everything. Now you can just write whatever you want, whatever in your mind, you can just simply write it. Okay, so now I just want the data, I just want a response in the form of JSON. So I'm just simply creating a JSON data. Okay, so how we can do that things? That is JSON. Yeah, JSON, and after that here we have to write the method, that is create object builder. So what we need, a object, no? So you can just simply take this method, that is object builder. So this method return the object of the object builder, so we have to accept it. So Ctrl+1, and here we have a assign statement. You can just simply type this. Okay, so this method, exactly this create object builder method returning the object of this, that is JSON object builder. So we have to create the variable, so I'm just creating object. See, we already knows that, like JSON, you guys, I think you guys have idea, like curly braces, it is represented in a curly braces, and it stores the value in the form of key value pair. Like here it's your key colon, and here we have a value. Okay, like that way this value will store. So why we use the JSON? So if you like, you have created the AEM project, you have created, now this data you want to transfer to some third party application, then we can simply use this JSON. Okay, so now how we want the output? We want like that. Like first of all, I need this curly braces. So for that I have created this, that is create object builder, and after that now here I want like data, and here I want I'm just printing search software solution, comma, and we need a site, and here www.search.com. so in this format I want the output. So how we can do that things? So you can just simply come here, we already have a JSON object, okay. By using that we can simply add this data, okay. So object dot add, and here you can just simply add the name first. What's our name? That is search software solution. So this one is our name first, yeah. And we knows that our object accept the data in the form of key and the value. So this name it's become your key, and this search software solution is become your value. So just come here, and here we have to use object dot add, and you can just write here site or URL, it's up to you. www. Yeah. So now we have written our logic. Now this data I just want whenever I am sending a request, so I just want this data, okay. I just want this output. So how we can do that things? So if I am just writing something here, if I am writing something, okay. So consider if I am writing something like localhost, yeah, okay. If I am writing something localhost and some URL, then I want this output. So how I can get it? So for that we have to register our servlet with some paths. Otherwise we have to register our servlet with some URL, a resource type. See, so whenever we create the servlet, we have to register that servlet. So we can register the servlet by using two ways. First one by using a path bound, by using the path, and second one is by using a resource type, okay. By using these two ways we can easily register. What does it mean by the register? Whenever you are sending a request, that time you are getting a data. So how you can send the request? So in the form of paths or in the form of resource type, how you want to send the request? So it's up to you. If you want to send the request using a path, you can send it. So right now I'm just doing by using a path, okay. Come here, and how we can do that things? But before that we knows that, okay, who will create the object of the servlet? This OSGI framework. So for that we have to use this OSGI framework first. So just come here and simply @component we have to use it. So this @component is nothing but your OSGI framework, okay. So now this component, like this is the OSGI framework, will responsible for creating an object for your servlet, okay. We don't need to be create manually. So for that we have to simply use here service. Say this is just simple OSGI components, okay. Now I am removing. This is just simple OSGI component, but when I am using this service attribute, it's become your OSGI service, okay. And the another thing, inside this Sling shape method servlet, we have only one. We have the methods like do get methods, we have do post method, we have we have some methods like do get or something, like do delete or something methods we have. But if I want to run the life cycle of the servlet, then where it has present? It has present inside the servlet interface, okay. Our 5 method, where it has present? Inside this servlet interface, no? All these 5 method it has present inside this servlet interface. So we have to take this in our servlet. So how we can take this one? So simply in our component service, here we have to simply use the servlet.class. So now what I am doing, I am just simply taking this interface in my servlet. Now I got a life cycle of the servlet only. Now our servlet will create automatically and it will run automatically by using this servlet interface. Okay, this is the thing done. Now we have to register. So how we can register it? So by using, you can just come here, comma, and hit enter. Now here we have to define some properties. Okay, so I am using a old methods here, that means old way I am using, that is 1.2 now. Okay, so inside this OHGI I am just defining our servlet. Yeah, I am just binding our servlet. Okay, but in the newest version, that is 1.4, that is R7 annotation, there they have separately created the separately they have created for binding the servlet. Okay, so if you want to bind the servlet by using the resource type, then you can just simply use Sling servlet resource type. Here we have a Sling servlet resource type. Okay, and here you can just write some attributes, and you can just simply register this servlet by using a servlet type. If you want path, you can just simply use Sling servlet path. Here we have a Sling servlet path, this one. Okay, use this and it's done. But I am not using this new way now. We'll see by using the old way how we can do that things. So here we have to define the property. Okay, this is the property, we have to define it, and we can define more than one property, that's why we have to define the array. Okay, and here now I am just using by using a resource path. So for that we have to define the resource path like this, Sling servlet paths. Okay, and you can mention any path whatever you want, but this path must be insert inside the OHGI configuration. Now I'll show you. Come here. Here localhost 4502, system, console, and the bundle. See, so now I'm just okay, this is the bundle only. Okay, this is the bundle framework. We don't want this OHGI framework. Where I'm going inside the config manager. When I'm going inside this config manager, here I have written the entry of the folders. This path you have to mention it. So I'm just going Apache Sling servlet something. Like here we have a Sling servlet. Yeah, this one. See, Apache Sling servlet script resolver and the error handler. Okay, so here I have written all the paths. So except this path you cannot write anything. If you want your customized, then you can just simply plus and you can add your own. Okay, so when we are giving at the first time, like here I am giving a bin, so this bin is there or not, so this bin is present, so it will work, it will execute our work, this servlet. But if I am using something like a new one, like a project, but this project is not there, so it won't execute. Okay, it will say like it won't find, it's not find out. Okay, so for that I'm just simply using a bin. Okay, bin, and you can just simply get news, you can write anything. Okay, so I have registered by using the paths now. But what's about if you want to register by using a resource type? So for that the same purpose, you have to use comma and double quotes Sling servlet. Yeah, this Sling servlet is common for every attributes. Sling servlet resource types, here we have to use types. Okay, and after that you can mention here types. Now I'll tell you, but before that we'll see this path first. Okay, so now we'll deploy, just let it be about this. Now we'll deploy and we'll check this output is coming or not. So for that I'm just deploying from here, from there. So this one is my project, you can just simply go open the CMD, and here you can just simply type maven clean install p auto install single package. Okay, till now we'll discuss about the resource type. Okay, so first what I'm doing is, okay, now we'll discuss about the resource type. Okay, so what does it mean by the resource type and why we are using it? Okay, so now I'll tell you how we have to register it. So when we are using a 1.2, that is annotation, that is R file. Okay, so where we can write our all the attributes if you want to bind your servlets. Okay, so where we can write inside the @ component. Okay, sir. Here we can load the life cycle of the servlet by using this service attribute. Service is equals to servlet dot class. That means our life cycle has loaded now. Okay, after that we use this property for registering the servlet. Okay, so here, so maybe your property is more than one, so for that we define this array. So here I have closed this array, open and close it. Now you can just define your in which format you want to register it. Like that you have to define it, but we have already discussed about this path. Okay, so now we'll discuss about the resource type. Okay, so here we have discussed about the, okay, so here what the thing is, we haven't used the get writer, so we have to use it. So see, the thing is we have written the output, but we haven't written returned to a output page. So when you have hit this request, so that time we have to respond. So how we can respond? By using this output. So you can just simply use this response dot get writer. After that, this get writer is nothing but it's giving a permission to write the output in the form of page. Okay, so in output page, if you want to write something, so you have to take the permission. So this method will provide get writer, and after that here we are writing something. So what you are writing? I am just writing a string. So this one is the JSON. Which one? Yeah, this data is our JSON, so we have to convert this data into one string. Okay, so how we can convert it? So this data we want to print, that is object, and I'm just making entire JSON format by using this build, and after that we know that this write method accept only a string. Okay, it won't accept this JSON format, so we have to convert this JSON to a string. So how we can convert? By using this toString method. It's done now. Okay, so it shows one error. See, the thing is you are writing something, you are writing or reading something, but if it is not find there, then it will throw the IO exception. So we have to accept it. So how we can accept? As a class, as a method level, we have to accept it. So we have to use throws, and here IO exception. Okay, so now I'm import it. Now our error has gone. Now we have to again deploy it. So I'm just closing this. Yes, and again you can type maven clean install p auto install single package. Okay, it's doing. Till now we'll see the resource type. Okay, so here we wherever we want to register it, this thing we have to define inside this property in our OSGI declarative 1.1, 1.2, that is annotation R5. Okay, and advanced version, that is OSGI declarative service 1.4, that is R7 annotation. So here if you want to register it, you don't need to write this property. Okay, directly they have created the annotation, and by using this annotation we can easily do that things. Okay, so here we have a Sling. We know that Sling servlet resource type, and at the last here we have a Sling servlet resource path. Okay, so now I just want to register by using a resource type. So for that we have to use like this Sling. This one must be in a small case. Okay, Sling servlet. Here we have to use resource, and here we have to use types. Okay, and after that here we have to use our resource type of our page. So what is the resource type of our page? So just come here, and we'll see here what is the resource type. So for that we have to open the CRXD now. Okay, so it has opened. Now here we have this hello. Consider this is my hello world components. Okay, so this one is my hello world component, and what is the resource type for this component? That is, here we have Sling resource type, that is demo1 components and hello world. So you can just simply copy this one. Copy, that is demo1 components and hello world. You have to write here demo1 components and hello world. Okay, so what it will happen now, your servlet has registered by using this resource type. Okay, now how you have to send the request? Now how you can send? You have to copy this one, that is hello world. This one we have to copy. Just simply copy, come here, and here we have to type localhost 4502 and we have to paste it. So what it will happen now? So when, if consider, if this hello world component node is using this resource type, okay, that means where we have added, okay, so this one is our resource type now. If this resource type and this resource type, for this hello world resource type it is match, then you will get the output. This is the output you will get, otherwise you won't get it. Okay, like here now I am telling, where is CRXD? Okay, this one is our CRXD. Okay, so here which one we have uses? That is hello world. But consider this one is my experience fragment, and this experience fragment has trying to sending the request. Okay, so this one is our experience fragment. This experience fragment is trying to send the request. So how we can send the request? By using this. This is the thing we have to copy it. Why? Because of this content folder is nothing but your controller. Okay, so by using this controller you can access anything. So I am just simply copying this, coming here, and I'm instead of this I'm just pasting that one. I have simply pasted. So if I try to hit enter, I won't get the answer. Why? Because of this experience fragment has uses this resource type. But in which resource type we have set our servlet? By this, that is demo1 components hello world. So whenever you are setting the resource type, only this controller you have to through that controller you have to send the request. Okay, so here I have sent the request like that. Okay, so we have to wait. Okay, it has deployed successfully. Now we'll just go there and just try it by using a path. So how we have registered it? By using the path. So you can just simply copy, just copy from here, come it here, open new one, and localhost 4502, come here and paste it and hit enter. Okay, so what we are getting? We are getting this hello world, but we haven't written it. So why we are getting? Because of here we have written like here servlet demo. Okay, so this is my servlet demo, and the same thing I have registered with this bin, with this path I have registered it. Okay, with this path what I am registered this hello world. See, this is the code I have written and I have set it by using this path. So that's why I am getting this hello world. Okay, but we need our own, so we have to remove that one. We have to delete this. Okay, so just simply delete it. Okay, Okay, we have deleted, and we have to simply run it once. Hit enter. Okay, so till now we can wait. Okay, so now we got the response. Now we'll just go there and we'll just try to check it. So come here and just simply refresh it. So when you will refresh, you will get the output. So this output we got by using the paths, okay, by using a path resource type. But now I just want to set by using a resource type. So how we can do that things? So we have already seen that is a hello world component. So I'm just simply copying this, copy this one, come here and just paste after that. Okay, and make sure that we have to write here Sling servlet resource types. Yes, must be there. Okay, no, yeah. After that you can if you want, then you can just simply select the selectors and as well as the extension. So how we can do that things, like Sling servlet selectors. Okay, and you can define more than one selector, is up to you. Okay, so here like that way we can define it 1, 2, but right now I just want to define only 1, so you can just simply write here 1. Okay, and here you can just define Sling servlet extension. Okay, so here I am just simply using that is recent. Otherwise, if you want to define more than one, you can also define it. Okay, so I am just simply saving it. Now we have to deploy it. Okay, so when we deploy, again we'll get the same result. Okay, so how we can send the request now? So we have to come here. Okay, so how we can send the request? We have already seen this this resource type. Okay, so we have to copy this controller. You can just simply copy it, go there and localhost 4502 and hit it. So if both the resources are matched with each other, then we will get the output. Like here you see inside this CRXD light, here we have this demo one, components and hello world, and in our backend code we have the same thing, that is demo one, components and hello world. Now we will get the output. Okay, so like the same way we have to hit it like this. So see, so in this way you just try it. Okay, so now I'm just closing this session. Why? Because of we get the same result, no, that I have already shown you this. So we'll get the same result. So like that way we have to send the request. That's it. Thank you guys.